Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Today I have to continue with Glory and Hope by Nelson Mandela. Glory and Hope is a speech by Nelson Mandela that he delivered on the day of his inauguration as the president of South Africa, right? And when he was elected as the president of South Africa, that was on 10th May 1994, and he was addressing to the countrymen, to the international leaders who have come from different countries, and definitely the occasion was when he becomes the first democratically elected president of South Africa, right? So in his speech he had given message to his peoples in the shape of glory and hope. He tells his people about the past days, which were full of hopelessness, chaos, destruction, disaster, and slavery before their liberty. He tells them that their unity and mutual cooperation produced justice, strength, and confidence, and had brought hope for the glorious life of all of them. Then he thanked all the people belonging to any field of life who worked for attempting this glorious liberty. He accelerates his people to demolish slavery, poverty, deprivation, lawlessness, and injustice. He enforced them to create a situation in the country in which there is no discrimination regarding color and creed, and paved the way for the people to walk peacefully together without any fear in their hearts. He stresses the word freedom again and again to remind his people the importance of freedom and to sustain it for the next days. And what you people will observe while reading the text, you will see that he did not use the word I. He did not use this first person pronoun I. He used the word we, which means that together they would work and gain their freedom. He says that they know that none of them alone can achieve success because there is no easy way towards freedom, and together they can strengthen their powers. And at last he says that there will be equal opportunity for everyone. He tells them that the people's first priority must be freedom and do not bring the situation again they passed through, right? So let's begin with the speech. Along with this, I will explain what he wanted to say. Your Majesties, Your Royal Highness, distinguished guests, comrades, and friends, today, all of us, by our presence here and by our celebrations in other parts of our world, confer glory and hope to newborn liberty. So, at that occasion, different delegates from the whole world had been invited. They had been present over there in his presidential speech. So he actually addressed those people, those distinguished guests, those Royal Highnesses and Majesties who had been present over there. Then he also not only addressed them, but also to his comrades, to his friends, to his people, he also addressed. And he said that as you people are the foreign delegations, your presence over here and the celebration of our people in this country and the rest part of the world is actually welcome to the newborn liberty in South Africa. Okay? He confers glory and hope to the newborn liberty. South African people, they had got liberty. He had used the word liberty actually. He did not use the word freedom as Martin Luther King had used the word freedom in his speeches. Let the freedom ring, let the freedom ring. But over here he had used the word liberty. So what is the difference between the liberty and the freedom? So actually, Martin Luther King he was the leader of Negro people in America. So the racism over there was depriving them from freedom. The white racist Americans did not want to see them equal. Whereas Nelson Mandela was South African leader, and he was like Muhammad Ali Jinnah of Pakistan. Actually, South African people, they were enslaved by Britain, a foreign nation. So he uses the word freedom, that stands for freedom from occupants, right? So the difference over here, the freedom is the right to say or act without any restriction, right? अमेरिका में रहते हुए जो ब्लैक पीपल थे, they did not have any right to say anything or to act according to their own will and wish, right? Whereas liberty is the right to live as you want without any restriction. जो साउथ अफ्रीकन पीपल थे, दे वर अंडर द फॉरेन ऑक्यूपेशन, तो उनकी लाइफ में लिबर्टी नहीं थी. दे कैन नॉट लिव विदाउट देयर will and wish, right? So liberty on the other hand has a wider scope. It is the legal right to do something. Freedom तो आप कहते हैं ना कि भी I want to live the way I want to, whereas liberty is that you have the legal right to do something, right? I hope that you will understand the difference between the liberty and freedom. फ्रीडम क्या है, आपको आज़ादी मिल गई. लिबर्टी जो है वो आपकी जो है वो दैट इज़ द बेसिक नीड. सो ही वेलकम देम ऑल एंड ही ऑल्सो टोल्ड देम अबाउट दिस न्यू बॉर्न लिबर्टी out of the experience. Okay, over here another point that is very important, that needs the clarity, that is of newborn liberty, that is glory and hope to the newborn liberty. So what is that? Before actually this very celebration of liberty and glory, the situation in South Africa was very bad. There was lawlessness, racism, poverty, deprivation, sufferings, gender discrimination, racial segregation. So it was a universal base of the pernicious ideology and practice of racism and racial oppression. The black people were the victims of all these sufferings. So he welcomed this newborn liberty. Out of the experiences of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud of. So he was of the view that they had experienced an unusual, a strange kind of human disaster, and it had taken much time to end. So when our society suffered for a long time, and it suffered a lot, then definitely there was a time comes when a society takes a rebirth, and he says that this time the society that has been born, the whole humanity will be proud of that newborn society. Our daily deeds as ordinary South Africans must produce an actual South African reality that will reinforce humanity's belief in justice, strengthen its confidence in the nobility of human soul, and sustain all our hopes for the glorious life for all. So what does he say over here? That we have to prove ourselves now, as we had undergone a strange kind of human disaster. We have given a rebirth to our society, so now we have to prove ourselves as the true real South Africans, and with our actions actually we will strengthen the humanity's belief in justice and strengthen their confidence that human souls are noble, and then sustain all our hope for a glorious life for all. And it is our moral obligation, it is the moral obligation of the South African people, that they have to tell to the world that or they have to redevelop the confidence of the world in the nobility of the human soul. All this we owe both all this we owe both to ourselves and to the people of the world who are so well represented here today. So he says that we are all obliged both to ourselves and to the people of the world who had come over here, who had represented themselves over here, who had been the part of their happiness, who had been the part of their celebration. So whatever he had promised in the above paragraph, that we as a South African will strengthen the humanity's belief in justice, will strengthen their confidence in the nobility of human soul, and definitely they have to do it because they are obliged both to their own selves and to the people of the world who had come over there and who had been celebrating this renewal with the South African people. To my compatriots, I have no hesitation in saying that each one of us is intimately attached to the soil of this beautiful country, as are the famous jacaranda trees of Pretoria and the mimosa trees of Bushveld. Okay, over here, what does he say? He was talking to his fellow countrymen, and he was telling them that there is no hesitation in saying this thing, that every one of them, all the people of South Africa, they are closely attached to their soil, to this beautiful country. Over here he had made use of similes and metaphors. Jacaranda trees is actually an American tree, and Pretoria is one of the centers of the South Africa. So like this foreign tree has been planted into Pretoria, into the South Africa. So, and mimosa tree of Bushveld, again a big tree that is deeply, that once takes its roots becomes deeply rooted into the soil. So what does he want to say? That their example, the people of South African are like jacaranda trees, like mimosa trees. Jacaranda trees means the foreign people, those who had come over there, they had taken their place in the capitals of the South Africa and are deeply rooted now into its soil. He said that we all people belong to this country. We all have our deep roots into the country. Each time one of us touches the soil of this land, we feel a sense of personal renewal. The national mood changes as the season changes. So again, telling them that or enforcing the sense of belongingness over here, that this is the soil and this is our soil, and with this feeling of ownness, with this feeling of personal belonging. Actually, he said that whenever we touch this soil, we feel a personal renewal. So the national mood changes as the season changes. In the national moods, definitely with the change of as the season changes, abrupt changes comes in the season. So the national moods, they also change in that very way. We are moved by a sense of joy and exhilaration when the grass turns green and the flower bloom. This is quite natural phenomena, that whenever there is change in the season, we people feel joy and happiness and delight. We feel delightness, we feel cheerfulness. So over here again, he tells the innate quality of a man, that we are like common human beings. We also feel that the change in the weather, the change in the season, the change in the national mood. That spiritual and physical oneness we all share with the common homeland explains the depth of the pain we all carried in our hearts as we saw our country tear itself apart in terrible conflict, and as we saw it spun, outlawed, and isolated by the peoples of the world, precisely because it has become the universal base of the pernicious ideology and practice of racism and racial oppression. So, while using the previous examples, that we people are like normal human being, we feel the change in the seasons, we feel the sense of joy and delightfulness when the grass turns green, when there is change in the dry grass, when it becomes green. So he actually associates himself with his country, and he said that when this spiritual and physical oneness that we all share with this common homeland, that we are all one, all the people of South Africa, they are one. They're spiritual and physically they are one, and they have common homeland. So when they are one, definitely they would all feel the pain that they all carried in their hearts when they saw their country tear apart itself in terrible conflict. What was the conflict? Conflict was between the black and the white people. Conflict was the deprivation of the black people in their own country. So definitely that hurts a lot the people of the country. So he said that we are all one, and spiritually and physically we are one. So when they are one, then they all would feel the pain of the conflict that the country had been facing. So we saw it spurned and outlawed and isolated by the peoples of the world, because it has become the universal base of the pernicious ideology and practice of racism and racial oppression. And as that South Africa had been facing this harmful ideology, this pernicious ideology, and they had been facing this practice of racism and racial oppression. I hope that this racism and racial oppression is clear to you people. Racial discrimination क्या है? Difference between the white and the black people. White, they are the Britishers. They had come over there in South Africa, or they had occupied that area, and these black people, they had been sent to actually to the poor and to the poor areas where they had to live in poverty. So this racial discrimination had been prevailing in South Africa. So what does he say? That when they are one together, they had faced the pain of the conflict that the country had been facing. So we saw it spurned. Spurned means that black people, they had been rejected with contempt. They had been outlawed and isolated by the peoples of the world. So when they are not getting their right, they had been outlawed, they had been isolated as by the world. Why? Because the world did not favor or did not stand for their rights. And definitely this was the harmful ideology and the practice of racism and racial oppression in South Africa. The people of South Africa feel fulfilled that humanity has taken us back into its bosom. Now he again used the word we over here, that the people of South Africa now they feel fulfilled that humanity has taken us back into its bosom, that we who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given the rare privilege to be host to the nations of the world on our own soil. So he said that now the situation has been changed. Those who had been outlawed, those who had not been considered, now they have been considered, and many delegations from the world, they had been sitting with them together in their own on their own land, in their own soil. So he said that we feel privileged. We thank all our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. So he thanked to all the people who had come over there and who had been the part of that celebration. We trust that you will continue to stand by us as we tackle the challenges of building peace, prosperity, non-sexism, non-racialism, and democracy. And he also demanded for their help, for their strength, as they had come over there to strengthen this new democracy. Therefore, he also demanded them that they would continue to stand by them when they would tackle these challenges of building peace. जब उनकी लाइफ में एक दफ़ा अपार्थाइड सिस्टम ख़त्म हो गया, रेशियल डिस्क्रिमिनेशन जो है वो उसको एंड किया गया by giving the equal rights to the black people as well. So after that, definitely when they had to practice it, many challenges would come on their way. So he demanded the world to stand by them. We deeply appreciate the role that the masses of our people and their democratic religious women, youth, business, traditional and other leaders have played to bring about this conclusion. Not least among them is my second deputy president, the Honorable F.W. de Klerk. Actually, he was given Nobel Prize, and this Nobel Prize was shared by this person, F.W. de Klerk. Why he was given the Nobel Prize? Because of his effort for the humanity, right? We deeply appreciate the role that the masses of our people and their democratic, religious, traditional, and other leaders have played to bring about this conclusion. So it was not the effort of a single person, it was the effort of many people, the men, women, all the young people, the businessmen, and other religious and traditional leaders. They all played their role, and they all had tried to achieve this glorious success. And among them was his second deputy president, that was W.D. Clark. We would also like to pay tribute to our security forces in all their ranks for the distinguished role they have played in securing our first democratic elections and the transition of democracy from bloodthirsty forces which still refuse to see the light. Actually, what had happened when this election had to be held, so over there, the security forces, they played their role, and they played their role in a very honest way. You can see on net that when this election was going to held for Nelson Mandela, a long queue of people had been standing to vote for Nelson Mandela. So it was snake-like. You can see on net a snake-like picture over there, that it was too long that they had to take the turns and twists like a snake. So he said that he was thankful the whole procedure would not be successful without the help of the security forces. So the time for the healing of the wounds has come. The moment to bridge the chasms that divide us has come. The time to build is upon us. So it is the responsibility of the South African people to build the chasms, the gaps that had divided them, and that had put them into such a pathetic condition. Now the time for the healing of the wounds had come. All the wounds that they had received because of this racism, because of this discrimination, this is the time to now heal those wounds. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. So, as they had achieved their political freedom, emancipation, so now they pledge. Now South African people, now Nelson Mandela, he pledged. क्या कर रहे हैं, अहद कर रहे हैं कि as the people they have been living in poverty and they had suffered a lot, they will bring these people back to the real life. They would also feel the taste of freedom and liberty. We succeeded to take our last steps to freedom in conditions of relative peace. We commit ourselves to the construction of a complete, just, and lasting peace. So, as okay, he actually promised again this thing that as they had been successful in taking their last steps, and he also pledged that he would create a peaceful and a just society in South Africa. We have triumphed in the effort to implant hope in the breasts of the millions of our people. Okay, definitely when there would be a spark, then you can lit a light, right? So what he had done, कहते हैं कि हम क्या है, successful हो चुके हुए हैं in what, in implanting the hope in the breasts of millions of our people, right? So he actually had created that hope into the heart of his people, that they can come out of that poverty, they can come out of that suffering. With that hope, he was able to get the result. We enter into a covenant that we shall build the society in which all South Africans, both black and white, will be able to walk tall without any fear in their hearts, assured of their inalienable right to human dignity, a rainbow nation at peace with itself and the world. So that is a promise, that is a pledge that he did with his nation, with his people, with his country, and that is kind of a covenant, that is commitment and contract. Covenant means that contract or commitment. He said that we enter into that commitment, that a society will be built for all the South Africans, where the black and the white, they would be able to walk tall जब आप स्लेव होते हैं ना तो यू गो डाउन. So walk tall means they will walk together, and there wouldn't be any fear in their hearts that there is any difference of the color or there is any discrimination between them, and they will be assured of their inalienable rights, that is untransferable rights. They have their own rights that cannot be given to anyone. So again, a metaphor is used over here, a rainbow nation. A rainbow has 7 colors. So with these 7 colors, the rainbow looks very colorful and very magnificent. So he called this magnificence, he has given that magnificence to his nation, where the people from the different parts of the world had been living, where the people from Britain and from Africa, they had been living together. So he said that as this nation has different colors, different people of the world, different culture of the world had been practiced over there, so they would live at peace and will show themselves to the world that they are a rainbow nation. So as a token of its commitment to the renewal of our country, the new interim government of national unity will, as a matter of urgency, address the issue of amnesty for various categories of our people who are currently serving terms of imprisonment. So definitely, as the black people, they had not been treated equally. They were put into jails. They had been put into the imprisonment as they had worked against the government. So he declared this thing, that this interim government, as a token of its commitment, they would work for the amnesty of these people. What is amnesty? It is a general pardon for offences against government. So they would work on that, and they would bring them back into the normal life. So we dedicate this day to all the heroes and heroines in this country and the rest of the world who sacrificed in many ways and surrendered their lives so that we could be free. He again thanked to the people of the country, thanked to the people of the world who really worked for their freedom. Their dreams have become reality.